My love for Dragon Ball had me reading a lot of different martial arts stories with key users, and one thing I realized is that key users can fall into two class categories. One is warrior, one is mage, and sometimes they integrate, but I'll get to that part. So basically speaking, we have a warrior who is the actual martial artist, which if you look at Dragon Ball, they're martial artists, they put their physical bodies on the line. And a mage class is a cultivator. Cultivators tend to be more magical, even though they're still actually using ki. Little fun fact there, in Dragon Ball, ki and magic are kind of synonymous with each other. So you don't necessarily know when somebody's using magic versus using ki. So these classes are very interesting because when you look at a warrior class versus a mage class, you see that their clothing are very different. And it's the same with the martial artists versus the cultivators. Generally speaking, the martial artists are going to wear more kind of Dragon Ball esque clothing, so what Goku is wearing. And every so often you'll see them have something like that little tassel thing that like General Tao or Chi Chi has. But realistically, they always kind of sort of stick to that pattern of clothing that they can use to fight and they can move around a little bit better. The cultivators, on the other hand, are more mage-like, so they're always wearing like these long flowing robes. But the interesting part is they usually start off in a more martial arts realm, and the stronger they get, the more likely they are to wear these robes or gowns. And it's really interesting because you can never really see their hands because the sleeves are so long. And then when they fight, they start using those sleeves to actually like do stuff. So you can't even like pull it to knock them off guard. They use them as weapons. And then, of course, the way they use their energy is very different. So martial artists tend to use their energy more destructively, and cultivators can use it more constructively, which results in their lifespans being significantly different. So a warrior class and martial artists tend to live slightly longer than the average person. I'm using that word very loosely because in Dragon Ball, for example, they can live anywhere between 50 to 100 years past a normal person. Master Roshi is an outlier because he's using extra stuff. But when it comes down to a cultivator now and mages, they live down there indefinitely for as long as they have access to whatever power it is. So as long as that power doesn't run out, they will live forever. And as long as somebody don't run them to fade. Another thing too is that when it comes down to cultivators, it's a high risk, high reward type of situation. So they gain a lot of power, but at the exact same time, if they mess up even one time in training, they can reset everything back to like being a normal person. Like when you look at Dragon Ball Super and Khalifa turned Super Saiyan, all she did was pour energy into her key channel and basically turn Super Saiyan. That is an actual thing. The problem, however, is that that was way too easy in comparison to cultivators. They could never do that, no matter how much training they have. If they did something like that, they're more likely to rupture something and turn into a normal human. So again, it's a really high risk, high reward type of situation. And there's actually a lot more to unpack here, but that's pretty much the condensed version of this. So till next time, I'm out. Peace.